We're back now with more from nutritionist Geri Zatcoff, who is showing us how to make roasted kale chips that are delicious, much better than they sound, right? No, I'm just teasing. How do you tell us they are delicious, and we have now treated them with cumin, garlic powder, salt, sea salt?
Sea salt, yes.
And olive oil.
And olive oil. And I didn't do it today because I didn't know how you feel about hot pepper. I happen to love hot peppers. And peppers are actually really good for you. I have two here. One is a chipotle, ground chipotle, which is a roasted jalapeno pepper, so it's quite spicy. And this is Aleppo pepper, which is actually from Turkey. It's not as hot as cayenne, but you can see it's little flakes. It looks like the stuff you get in the pizza parlor, but there's no seeds in there. So while it has flavor and spice, it doesn't have the heat. So depending on who your audience is, for children you might want to leave off the hot pepper. But the kosher salt and a little bit of garlic, and even for those of you who don't like cumin, you could add another spice. But the cumin, that flavor with the sweetness of the kale when it's roasted is really delicious.
And we have now put it in the oven, and the oven was at 375?
The oven was at 375. I check them frequently, Nancy, because once the edges start to curl, they cook very quickly.
And when you say the edges start to curl, are they turning brown? Or are they just really literally just peeking up? Or
I don't know if you can get a shot of this, but when you see, the kale is already curly, and it dries quickly, and see how the edges, they'll break off. See, they start to crumble like that. So when you touch them,
this is kale we cooked last night.
Yep.
To be informative.
This is kale that I did last night.
We're about to create the new kale.
Yep. Chips. And they're better when they're fresh, I have to say, when they're right out of the oven. When you take them off the pan, you're going to want to let them sit for a minute and then take them to a platter. Don't stack them up immediately because the steam will make them wilt. So you want to let them cool.
On the pan?
On the, well, I usually use a cookie sheet. And that way the air circulates and they don't steam anymore. Because, you know, when it's fresh, there's a lot of water in there, and what you're doing is drying them out.
Where do you buy kale? Just at the grocery store?
Anywhere.
Okay.
Anywhere, you know.
Fresh kale?
Fresh kale. Okay. There's many different varieties, particularly at some health food stores. You'll find purple kale, which is really beautiful. You'll find
Would that be equally beneficial for your health?
Equally beneficial.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not as pretty when you cook it because it turns super dark and black.
Oh.
So I think the green is a little bit prettier. I'm going to check the kale one more
Let's
time.
check it so we don't burn our kale.
And you know what, I actually, I wouldn't recommend this, but for those of you who are cooks, you can feel free to stick your hand in the oven like I do. I'm going to give it another minute or two.
Okay.
This recipe is on my website.
And what is your website?
My
Remind us of it.
It's zatcoffwellness.com. I think you'll see it coming up. It's ZATCOFF wellness.com.
And if you had to communicate a takeaway message for our viewers of this show about kale, about nutrition, wellness in general, what would it be? Because I know you're an expert and we want to glean some of that expertise.
I would say that healthy food can be delicious, and you don't have to be afraid of healthy food. It's probably one of the single most important things that can affect your health long term. And it's very important for those of you with small children to nourish them from the start with good food.
Get them started with the vegetables.
Yes.
Early.
If you, I'm just going to take these out. If you start feeding them fast food and junk food when they're young, that's what they're going to crave. So I just wanted to show you how pretty these are.
They are beautiful. Maybe we can get a camera close-up of them. I don't know. But they are very pretty.
Yep. And so
they're a little, can I touch?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
And so we're looking for these to be this crispy.
Yes.
Just this crispy. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Perfect.
See how beautiful they are?
They are. They're very beautiful. Yep. Wonderful. Roasted kale chips.
Right.
That's what we're going to call them?
Yep.
Okay. Very good. Well, thank you so much, Geri Zatcoff. One more time, what's your website?
Zatcoffwellness.com.
Very good. Thank you for joining us. That's all the time we have on What's Cooking. I'm Nancy Quinn. Here's Well Connected.